All right, beautiful humans. We are live and back for our weekly wake up on this beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. So I will give it a moment for you guys to all hop on live with me. If you are new to our weekly wake up is really the space to get all your inspiration, your motivation to wake up to life and all the good things it has to offer. So if you have been joining us, hello, Gail, for a while on our weekly wake up, we are going to shift it a bit. We're going to shift it a bit. So we've kind of shifted the weekly wake up from here and there, kind of just as we've started this. If you've ever done anything in life new, it shifts, right? It shifts what you're doing as you're learning and growing and deciding how this actually should look. So originally when our weekly wake up started, it was very inspirational. It was all about connecting to yourself and all of this. And then we kind of changed it and we started to do more of the healing modality, the tapping that we do on here. And we did that for a while and it was good, but we're going to go back to more of the inspirational weekly wake ups. And for all of my members in our membership that are on here, don't worry. The tapping will be in the membership. We're going to add that to the membership, a weekly clearing kind of thing that we'll be doing over there. What we really saw was that it's kind of hard with new people coming on to kind of explain what we're doing. And so that is much more suited better for our members, the actual modality that we use, the clearing, the emotional release in our membership. Here on the weekly wake up, we're really going to be talking about more of the concepts, talking about more of the aha moments, all of that good stuff. So you can start to come back to yourself, feel good throughout the rest of the week kind of deal. I still am going to be talking about emotions and all the things that I talk about like I do, but yeah, just a little bit different. So how's everybody doing? We don't have too many people live today. Hopefully we get some more of you guys on. So today I wanted to talk about finding motivation when you're feeling stuck and off. And I feel like this is something that happens to people a lot in our world. And it happens to me, it happens to everybody. And I don't even like to use the words stuck or off because I feel like that connotates that something's wrong. And I think we've been convinced in this world that we should always just be 100% motivated, go, ready to do the things. And that's not always the case. And so what do we do though when we wake up and we just feel kind of blah and icky and like we don't want to do anything? And so it happened to me on Tuesday. I woke up. Actually, it started Monday night. I played a tennis match and it was so hot, you guys. Like, I live in South Texas and we're really used to hot, but it was like 100% humidity. I looked like I looked like I jumped in a pool when I came home. Like, I was just like drenched. Like, it was ridiculous. And so I just felt like icky when I got home and I showered and I was tired. It was a long match. I went to bed and I just woke up and I just felt like meh. And I had a list about this long to do. To get things going. And this is where I want you to pay attention to your bodies, because often in these moments, we'll tell ourselves we don't want to do those things. We just want to lay in bed and watch Netflix. We just want to eat something bad for ourselves. We just want to take a bath. We just want to do all these things. And sometimes these things are what we need. Or sometimes these things are big old distractions from the emotions that we just need to feel so that we can get unstuck and re-motivated. Usually when we are not motivated to do things, usually when we want to procrastinate, we're just ignoring our emotions. There's a fear there. There's a fear. There's something scaring us. And so we're trying to distract ourselves. We're trying to distract ourselves with all of these other things, right? That we tell ourselves are our real wants. But are they your real wants? Are they your real wants? So in this moment, as I had woken up and just felt completely stuck and off and yucky, was it really truly what I wanted to do? Watch Netflix or do that? No, I really wanted to get my list done. And I know that that's how procrastination usually works, right? Like you actually want to do the thing. You're just not doing it. You're just not doing it. And so this is where we have to look at what's really going on here. And this is where we have to get real with ourselves and allow those feelings to come out. Now, the rest of the world usually teaches you that when something like this happens, to shift the energy. And sometimes I play around with that. Like I play around with that. Like, okay, I'm just going to shift the energy. I'm actually not going to sit with my emotions and my feelings right now. I'm going to shift the energy. And so I'll start to say my affirmations, do the things, try to get into this flow, right? And when I do that, it often works, but then the icky feeling comes back. It's not gone. I want to get it gone. And in order to get it gone, we actually have to sit with it and feel it and just be. And so this isn't watching Netflix. It could be taking a bath. It could just be laying in bed and just asking yourself, what am I trying not to feel here? What am I scared of? What am I worried about? If I get all of this stuff done, what am I scared is going to happen? This is a great one to ask yourself when you're feeling stuck. So let's say you're procrastinating from doing something, right? You're procrastinating from doing something. Ask yourself, if I get that thing done, what am I scared of is going to happen? Because there's a fear there. We don't do anything, you guys, for no reason. Everything we do has a purpose. Everything we do as humans, we're getting something from. And the way you change your life and get what you want the fastest is you start to explore your intentions and your motivations and your reasons for doing the things that you're doing. You start to gain self-awareness. You start to, instead of watching the Netflix, which there's honestly nothing wrong with doing all the fun stuff. We just have to figure out, am I actually doing this because it's fun and I like it? Or am I doing this because I'm trying to distract myself because I feel blah and I don't want to do the thing? I often look at things like this. Like when I do things like, watching Netflix or things that might seem procrastinating, right? I will ask myself, is this keeping me from a more long-term want? Like if I'm saying I really just want to eat popcorn and watch a movie right now. Cool. In doing this, is it keeping me from getting a more long-term want that I want? Or when it comes to spending money, I remember when I was in a place where I was really trying to manage my money closely, but not wanting to feel like I was having to not spend what I wanted to get. And it's a real strange world that tells you live in abundance and do whatever you want, but don't run out of money also. It's this dichotomy. And so I remember being in this place of being well, I don't want to be held back from spending what I want to spend. I just want to spend everything, I just want to buy this. I want this. I see it. I like it. I want it. I get it, kind of attitude, but not also having the financial resources at that time to do it. And so you get stuck in these moments where you're well, should I just do the immediate thing I want to do? Or do I need to, and then it feels like you're holding yourself back from getting what you want and doing what you want to do. And we have to really look at, is there first wounding here? Is there first wounding here? Am I just feeling I never get what I want? And so my little 5-year-old is running the show. My little 5-year-old who never got what they wanted and never got to do what they wanted and never got to spend money they wanted, are they running the show? And really, actually, distracting me from getting my real wants, which may be, financial freedom and having an overflow of money. It's kind of like empty buying when you buy stuff and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't even want this. That was your 5-year-old that bought that. Your 5-year-old that never got to have just the experience of buying everything they wanted is now running the show. And so we have to look at these things when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling off, when we're procrastinating. We have to take a moment and we have to look at, what is it that I really want here? Is this stopping me from getting a true want that I want? I feel like sometimes these are like fake wants. These are like wants that are coming from wounding. These are wants that are coming from distraction. What is it that I really want here? What is it that I really want here? And then deciding if that's the thing for you to do. Because most of the time, those fake wants, there's actually emotions behind them. There's actually emotions behind them, and you actually need to feel them. You actually need to feel them. And once you feel them, so that day that I woke up, that Tuesday, yesterday, when I woke up and I was just like, I don't want to do anything, I literally just took a moment. I just laid in my bed and I was like, what is in my body that needs to come out of my body? And I just cried and I felt it. And honestly, I didn't even have really words or an understanding of what it was, but it needed to come out. And I laid there and I cried. And then I was like, okay, now I can go start my day. And I got up and my day went beautifully. I like asking the fear question versus putting a Band-Aid and not getting to the root, which repeats the pattern. Yes, empty buying, right? Empty buying. It doesn't help anybody. It's us just distracting ourselves from our emotions. Like I said, often the eating is, often the watching of TVs or scrolling on our phone is. And none of these things are bad. Buying material things, nothing bad about it. Watching TV, nothing bad about it. Eating lots of food, even junk food, nothing bad about it. Having a glass of wine, nothing bad about it. But we have to look at what our reasoning is behind it. Are we doing it because it's making us feel expansive and have fun and light up? Or are we doing it to distract ourselves and numb ourselves from feelings inside that need to be addressed so that we can actually move on to things that we truly want in life? The motivation that we actually need. And when we do these things, you guys, we're just distracting ourselves from our emotions. And a lot of times we're distracting ourselves from our emotions because we don't feel like it's valid for us to have them. And this is really common with women, right? We feel like we need to be like happy, cheerful people pleasers all day, every day. And like, if we're grouchy, there needs to be a reason. And this is often when it comes to like how we create our own reality. This is often when we begin to create shit. We create pains in our body so that we have something to complain about. We create a ridiculous fight with a spouse so we have something to yell and cry about instead of just yelling and crying. And that's what I've learned so much on this journey. And this is why I teach to pay attention to the little things. Pay attention to the little things. Because if you pay attention to the little things that are invoking an emotion, then the big, terrible things don't come. Because you paid attention to the little things. You stub your toe and all of a sudden you want to scream, punch a wall, and yell. Do it. Because those emotions are actually in you and needing to come out of you so that you can get closer to getting what you want in life. But you're not getting them out. You're waiting for a reason. And so I've stopped waiting for a reason. When I feel stuck, the reason you guys procrastinate and feel stuck is because you have emotions that need to be addressed. And they go all sorts. It's a trauma response. You're in trauma response. When you feel stuck, when you're procrastinating, you're in a trauma response. You're worried that someone's going to be mad at you if you do the thing. You're worried you're going to fail. You're worried all of these things are going to happen if you do the thing. And so you revert to a trauma response. And this comes back to your childhood. And your body knows what to do. Your body knows how to get you out of that trauma response and back into motivation. But it requires you to listen to your body. And your body usually wants to cry, yell, laugh, sing, dance, do something to actually kind of shake that trauma out of your body. But we don't often listen. We don't often listen. Instead, we distract ourselves, we try to push through, and it just feels icky. It just feels icky. And that's no fun. So, what do? We talk to ourselves. We get with ourselves. We do a little internal exploration when we're feeling stuck and unmotivated. And we ask ourselves, what's really here? What's going on? What needs to happen? What needs to change? What am I scared of? Why? What's really in here that needs to come out? And this is a process, and it can take some time to really get used to doing this. But like, what's the fear? What are you scared of? If this works, what are you scared is going to happen? Who are you scared is going to be mad at you? Who are you scared is going to leave you? It's all made up in your head. It's all made up in your head. You don't know what's going to happen. And if it does happen, you can figure it out. You are a smart, capable, amazing human. There is nothing, we don't lose here in this life. We only gain. If you look at life that way, you only gain. You think you might lose people, you don't. You gain new people. You gain new experiences. You gain new understandings. We don't lose here. We just keep gaining. We gain an experience. We gain a lesson. We gain a new perspective. We gain an openness to accept in something new. Instead of looking at life like we're going to lose, why don't we look at life like we're going to gain? If I do this thing, I'm going to gain something. I'm not going to lose somebody or something or anything. And if you do, look at it as an experience that you got to have. You know, our world makes everything so freaking black and white. Like it really, really does. And so much of this, I truly believe, comes from a lot of the religious underlying that we have throughout the world is we make everything black or white. Like you have one life to live. You don't. Newsflash, you don't. You don't. You are an eternal, energetic consciousness that never stops existing, ever. You may not live this exact life again, or you might. Like we look at everything too concrete and too black and white, and it fucks us up, you guys, like so bad. So bad. We end up all in our head about stuff. We end up worried about stuff. We end up never taking steps towards our dreams because we're terrified that if we do, all these terrible things are going to happen to us. And we don't even know that these terrible things are going to happen to us. It's just what everybody has always told us from the beginning of time. You have one life to live and you better get it right. You better do good things or you're going to hell. And even if you're not a Christian, I feel like this is such an understanding throughout our world that we live and die by it, and it sucks. And also hold with people that like people abandon us and people leave us, and just because we're not friends with somebody anymore, now we have this huge loss in our life. What if you didn't? What if there were just seasons for friendships? What if there were just seasons for people in your life? What if you weren't meant to stay with the same 5 people as your best friends for your entire life? What if you were meant to learn about them, grow with them, and then move on to new adventures? What if that was how it worked? What if that was actually normal? What if we're all stuck and stressed and feeling off because we're actually doing human in a way that's completely and totally unnatural to how we are meant to thrive and live and grow and be? Did you ever think of that? You know, we're all got to have my tribe, got to have my this. Do we? And we let so much of this stop us and keep us unmotivated and stuck when it's not even real. It's not even real. It's all created constructs by people who want to keep you stuck, who want to keep you unmotivated. Why? Because when you're stuck and you're unmotivated, you buy worthless shit, you consume, and people can make lots of money. And not to say that you shouldn't consume. Consuming is a fantastic part of being human. Consuming food, consuming knowledge, consuming material objects, consuming all sorts of stuff. It's a great part of being human. But we are often over consuming because at the end of the day, we're creators. We came here to experience, to create, to do all sorts of really cool stuff. Oh, I need to plug my computer in. Hold on. I'm sitting on my charger. All right, there we go. We're here to create, and there's nothing wrong with consuming. But when you're kept from yourself, you tend to consume and never create. You tend to stay stuck. Like Gail said, 100%, be a good girl, don't rock the boat. Right? You know, I was having this moment this morning where I was driving back. I had to take, usually I don't take my kids to school. My husband does because it's on his way to work. And I, hello, Aislinn, how are you? And I don't take them, but my son had a late baseball game last night. So I told him when he went to bed, I was like, don't wake up and just like sleep and I'll take you late. Because to me, sleep is like the most important thing for a kid. I'm like, I'm not sacrificing your sleep for sports or school. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't believe in a lot of these systems we've created in the world that force us to lose sleep and all of these things because we have to be somewhere on time or at a certain place. Like, I think it's ridiculous. Like if you really look at our world, the majority of stress and lack of sleep and unhealthy things, I mean, we've created them all and they're all very fixable. I would say that probably the majority of kids feel, I would bet at least half the problems children suffer from come from just lack of sleep, just pure lack of sleep because of the systems that we've in place where we end up not giving kids enough time to sleep. They got to be up. People got to go to work. It's just like lack of sleep. So anyways, I was taking him to school. I dropped him off. It's a beautiful day here, like just absolutely beautiful day. And so I was driving back on Ocean Drive where like, you know, the water's right there. And I had my windows down and I had music blasting, but like old school music. Like I was listening to, What a Beautiful Morning. I think I'll take a little step outside. You know, so I'm like listening to like old school music. And I'm driving. And as I get closer to my neighborhood and there's like people outside and stuff like that, all of a sudden I was like, oh, I should tone it down a bit, you know? So I go to like turn down my thing and like kind of put my windows up a little bit so my hair's not like this. And then all of a sudden I was like, no. And I put my windows back down and like blared the music back up and went back to and I was like crazy, like dancing in my car. And just like driving and like I went right back at it. But it was interesting how in that moment I like caught myself for a second and was like, oh, I need to tone it down. Like I need to tone it down. Like people are gonna be like, oh, what's up with that girl? And like, what am I toning down here? Joy? Because like what people are gonna be scared of my joy, but they do. People get scared of that. They're like, and think about that. Think of how many times you see a person dressed in a kind of crazy, not typical way, and you're like, oh my God. Or you see somebody, you know, doing something, and you're just like, oh my God. You know, those little judgments that happen, you're judging them because you're really judging yourself. You're really judging who you are and who you truly want to be that you're not letting out. Yeah, why are you so happily and bubbly? Have you been drinking? People say that to me a lot. Have you been drinking? No, I haven't been drinking. Sorry that I'm just filled with the spirit of life. Sorry you're not. But we do that quite often to ourselves, right? We tone it down. We tone it down to fit in, to look more normal, to be in the box, change our outfit to be more appropriate to wherever we're going, right? And that keeps us stuck. That keeps us in this place of feeling blah. Because we know we want to go out and be a certain person, but we're scared. We're scared people won't like us. We're scared people will judge us. We're scared people won't want to be our friends. Blah, 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 blah. Little newsflash. People are going to judge you. People are going to not like you. People are going to not want to be your friends, no matter if you're fully you or a skewed version of you. So you might as well be the full version of you and have people love you for who you actually are. Because like I said, no, you're not going to get everybody to love you ever. No matter who you are, no matter how much you try to fit into the mold, not everybody's going to like you. So you might as well be liked for being your true, full self that feels good, the person you want to be, versus the person everybody else wants you to be. It's going to make you feel a lot more motivated to live in this world. It's going to kick the procrastination more than you have ever known. And you're going to just feel better. You're just going to feel better. And so pay attention, you guys, when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling procrastinating, like I said earlier, first pay attention to what is the thing, what are the fears? Why are you procrastinating? You have to explore this. When we procrastinate, we have to explore it. First, we have to explore if we're even procrastinating, because I think a lot of times people think that anything they do that's not like in movement towards their dreams or in movement towards doing something is procrastination or being stuck. That's not true. I love to freaking watch random ass Netflix shows. I love to do just like ridiculous things that have really no purpose. So I have to ask myself, am I procrastinating here or am I just having fun? You know when you're procrastinating because it's like you're not really having fun. It's like you're just scrolling to scroll. You're watching Netflix to like just hide. You're doing the thing just because you don't want to do the other thing. You're not like finding joy in the activity. And so if that's the case, then ask yourself, what's the fear? If I did the thing I really wanted to do, what am I scared of? Why am I stopping myself? Who am I scared? Who am I scared is going to be? Who am I worried is going to be mad at me if it doesn't work, if I fail? Start asking yourself those questions. Do a little exploration and discernment about your stuckness. What do you really want? And why aren't you doing the things to get it? What are you scared of what scares you if you got them? There's something there. And you got to go explore what's in there. And then pay attention to those moments in life where you're calibrating yourself down. Those moments where you want to turn the music down a little bit. You want to, stop doing the fun thing you were doing because you're worried somebody's going to have something to say about it or they're going to judge you. Pay attention to if you act a certain way when you're all alone. And then it's like, oh, your spouse gets home and like, oh, you got to like change everything, do everything up so that you're like the person they expect you to be. I remember I used to feel like years ago before I really, like when I first started this business, I used to feel like I lived like a double life. Like I had like my online presence where I felt like super like cool to be like, my full self and okay with it and like on it and like say all the weird esoteric stuff I say and like just be fully me and all of that. And then I felt so different when I would be with like my family and my friends and my husband. Like I was like a different person all of a sudden. Then I wouldn't say the things that I would usually say and like nobody knew about all of this stuff. And eventually I had to really merge my worlds. I had to be like, I don't want to be like a different person everywhere I go. Like I can, it works, but like I want to be the person I want to be wherever I go. And does that shift things? Do people sometimes probably are like, what's up with this chick? Yeah. I'm sure they do, but like, it is what it is. Again, I would rather be loved for who I actually am than for who people want me to be. And then sometimes people don't hang around, you know? Sometimes people don't hang around. I told you, I think I've told this story. If you've been in my world for a while, like, I mean, when I really went through that, I mean, I changed. Like when I look at the person my husband married versus who I am now, completely different people. And we had to have that conversation. I had to have that conversation of, hey, man, I changed the game on you. Like 100% total 180. I am a completely different person than I once was. If you don't want to do life with me anymore, I get it. I get it. Like, I'm not the person you fell in love with and married. That was a construct that I had created. And so we kind of either have to go our separate ways, or maybe you want to try to spend some time getting to know me and deciding if you like the real person that I am. And I know this happens a lot in marriages. I think it happens a lot with women. People always say, oh, women change so much when you get married. I think we both do. My husband changed so much too. I think we often put our foot forward that's going to get the person who that person wants us to be. And then as we're together longer and longer, we start to be who we really are. And as we start to become who we really are, it starts to cause this issue of like, wait a second, do I even like this person? Is a completely different person. And I think often we try to change that person back instead of just realizing this is the new version of this person. Do I like them? Do I want to stay around for it, or am I out? And that's really what we need to do more of, is learn to accept people where they're at and for who they are, and then decide if that works for us instead of always trying to force change within another person, which often doesn't happen unless they're really motivated. I believe that people change. I mean, obviously I work in this field of people changing. I have changed so much. What I have learned is this: people do not change for other people. When people say, oh, people don't change, that is completely incorrect. People change massively. What I do know is that people don't change for other people. They change for themselves. And until that person wants the change for themselves, it will not happen, or it will not stick. It'll be a surface level change, and they'll boop, boop, go back to who they were prior. It'll always be a surface level change. You can't change a person. Only a person can have the motivation to want to change themselves. So what has my life changed in my friends, and even my partner? I changed the game. He wasn't interested. Hurts badly, but I know there's a plan. Yeah, it does. And sometimes people aren't interested, but who wants to go through life with a bunch of people that love a construct of you? Right? I don't. I don't want to go through life having people love a version of me that I am just being so that they will love me. I want to go through life with people who are by my side because they genuinely want to be with me and they like me. And there's 8 billion people in the world. You'll find them. They're here. There's people that like all sorts of different things in different people. And I feel like we're just entering this age of really learning to be ourselves and really becoming the individual humans that we're meant to be. And it's time. It's time. All right, beautiful people. That's what I got for you today. I had said this in the beginning, but we didn't have a lot of people on, where I'm kind of changing up how we're doing the weekly wake ups. I'm going to start just talking more about topics and things like this. And then for my members who, when we were doing the tapping on here, like really like releasing the emotions and everything like that, we're going to bring that inside of our membership. We're going to do that once a week inside our membership and have like a tapping Tuesday or something like that. It was kind of hard to do it out here in the weekly wake up because I always had to explain what we were doing. And I felt like it kind of felt weird for new people coming in. And I feel like the majority of the people who were really enjoying it and showing up were our people in our membership, because you guys know the work, you're here for it. And so we're going to start doing more targeted things in there. It makes it easier because then we can do a whole bunch of like weird stuff that you guys will be open to and love in there. So stay tuned in our Happy Human membership. That will be coming. And then our weekly wake ups are kind of going to go back more to like being more inspirational, being more content, being more all of that kind of stuff over here. Like really truly a weekly wake up to kind of like wake you up and feel good. And so I want to leave you guys with this is remembering who you are. Take a moment and go back to close your eyes and go back to that moment when you were a little kid and you were spunky and you were energetic and you wanted to go, 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 go. You didn't have problems being motivated. You were ready to enjoy this world because you were being you. Go back to that moment. I want you to find that inner child for a second in you. Find that inner child that wasn't scared, that wasn't worried. Maybe you have to go back all the way to 2. Who knows? But that little kid that just loved themselves and loved being who they were, that wanted to sing and dance and run and play and do all the things. Take a moment and go back to that version of you. Bring that version a little bit more inside of you. And just remember how loved you are, how special you are, how unique you are. And go out and do something today that you want to do. Go do something that just brings your heart joy. Go get in the car and roll down your windows and blast the music and have a little fun. Go skip through a field of flowers. Go do something very childlike and just try to bring back that fun into your life. And if you're feeling stuck and you're procrastinating, ask yourself, what are you trying not to feel here? And feel it, you guys. And if you don't know how to feel it, we have a lot of great resources on our website, heyyouhuman.com, to help you learn. We have a whole membership devoted to helping you move out all of the resistance to having your best life. You can check that out. But it gets to be for you. You get to have the life you came here to have. You get to be the person you want to be. Stop letting people stop you. Stop letting this world tell you it's not okay. And go be it and do it. And if people look at you funny, who cares? If people don't get you, who cares? If people think you're weird, who cares? You probably are. Who cares? Be weird. Let them think you're strange. Who cares? All right, beautiful people, have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you back here next week, same time, same place. Otherwise, if you are in our membership, I will see you tomorrow morning for our daily dose of inspiration. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.